Hello everyone, I'm the Harmonic Hacksaw. Today's video will be me composing a common practice chorale and including my commentary and composition process. I hope you enjoy, and feel free to let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, so I'd like to start off writing a chorale by writing the first beat in all four voices. Then generally I'm going to proceed doing the bass and soprano first to kind of outline the chords, and then fill in the alto and tenor voices, which are the middle two, as I go along. So I'm going to be trying to write this in common practice, voice leading style. So if I make any errors, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Alright, so you can see we're starting the melody out here, putting the bass in. Some nice simple diatonic chords, nothing crazy yet. Let's see where this goes. So another general thing, I think this is a rule, but it makes things easier if you try to keep the inner voices either the same or as stepwise as possible. So you can see in the tenor, I'm just keeping the C for the first three beats. We're going to try really hard to avoid parallel fifths, parallel octaves, direct fifths and octaves, although I don't even remember what those are. So if you're a music theory nerd, go ahead and call me out on these things and I will do nothing about it. Alright, so this is a recording of me composing this, and it's on double speed, so you can see how slow I am, so pardon me. Also, the audio on this is pretty subpar, just because of the way I tried to record it. Oh no, I didn't just double the third, did I? That's embarrassing. Anyways, alright, we're writing out the second half of this phrase. We're going to call the end of measure 2 a sort of cadence, S-O-C. Because we're ending that sub-phrase, we'll say that each phrase is 4 bars. Filling in the bass line, we've got an F chord in first inversion, so that's going to be a 4. I'm a big fan of having voices move in sixths, so that way I don't violate any rules, which, you know, that really I don't care about, but I think it sounds nice and pretty, so sixths and thirds are the way to go. And you'll see the last two beats of the third measure, I decided to keep the soprano on the same note, so obviously I'm going to try and change the harmonies of the other voices just to give it a little different kind of flavor. This is where I forgot how to change voices. There we go. Okay. I'm still not very good at MuseScore. You saw me almost put a parallel octave in there. That would have been embarrassing. So we're going to want to double the root. There you go. Doubling the root is the way to go, although I think there's a rule where if you are doing a chord in second inversion, you can double the fifth. Don't quote me on that. Okay, that beat is a C major chord. Then we're going down to a 5-7, so that's a G. Not a 5-7, a 5-6. And this is going to be our half cadence because the last chord, instead of being in C like you would normally end, it's actually in G, which is the 5 of this key. And you can see that F sharp creeping in there. We're actually kind of bringing this over to G a little bit. And you'll notice the C sharp in the first beat, that is a secondary dominant going to D. We'll call that a 5 of 5 because A is the 5 of D, which is the 5 of G. It'll have a nice juicy effect on the harmony. Watch me make a spacing error there. this is where I tried writing the bass first, and this never seems to work out for me, but we'll see how it goes. Moving bass is a very important thing to have. Alright, we got some contrary motion between the soprano and the bass. So we're going to take this to another sort of cadence in G. Let's fix that. I didn't like the way this sounded. I was going to have it end on a 4/6 the way it is now, but I decided to change it because it just sounded very clumsy. Yeah, see, I actually left in the part of me playing that and going, what? Alright, we're almost to this cadence. As you can see from the second beat in the alto, I like chromaticism that goes continuously down instead of like a lower neighbor, like G, F sharp, G. I like continuous chromatic motion, something like you'd see in like Granger's works. I'm not sure how strictly this follows common practice, so let me know if I'm a rebel. This is another spot. I decided to modulate into E minor here. So I decided instead of trying to do bass and soprano then fill in, I do another thing where I fill out all the voices for the first beat to use as kind of a template. And in the bass, we can actually have jumps. Okay, so we have parallel motion in thirds with the bass and the soprano, which is exactly what we're looking for. Okay. And as we are filling in the tenor, I am messing up the voices. Check out that F sharp. That kind of gives us a little hint that we are going to G major, because the D major is not a major 2 chord, because that would be too much. Now I promise as I keep making these, I'll get better at switching the voices in MuseScore. I suppose I could just do a 4-part or a 4-staff thingamabob, but for now this is what we got, and this is how I like looking at it. So, okay, just filling in the last couple notes of the tenor. We're moving in sixths with the bass. We'll notice as I'm starting to put the harmony or the melody in for measure 9, if you look at measure 8 in the alto voice, that is probably my favorite kind of suspension. And you'll hear the recording after the video. And that would be a 7/6 suspension, because that is the interval over the bass. You'll notice when I'm explaining concepts, I kind of have a questioning tone. That's because I don't really remember. So don't tell my theory professors. This is a place where I decided to try some like more spicy common practice harmony, it didn't really work properly. You'll notice in the recording it doesn't quite ring with the rest of the chorale. After I deliberate for a while, it's going to end up being an A flat chord in second inversion, which in the key of C would be a flat 6 chord, and then it goes to a D major chord. So I guess we could say in the key of G, that is a flat 6 chord. Or at least it should be. Rather, I mean, I know it's an A flat chord, but it's kind of functioning like an E flat chord with like a substituted sixth or something. Let's wait for past me to put in all these notes. Got some contrary motion. Accidentally added a beat for a second there. I guess that happens when you click B or open Apple B or Shift B or something. There's that suspension I was talking about. It just has a nice sound, especially when it is over a first inversion chord. It just fits very snugly. So we'll pretend whatever chord that is in the second beat of measure 10 has some kind of predominant function. If you have a better solution than me for what chord that is, drop it in the comments. Don't be too mean or I'll cry. I struggled with the voice leading for this one a little bit because obviously it wouldn't be proper to have open fifths, but I wasn't sure how to do it otherwise without having a voice leading error. So instead we did a 4/3 suspension in the soprano, and that is going to be our sort of cadence for the third phrase. And it's going to be in D major. So taking it from G, we're going from the tonic, we're taking a field trip over to dominant, and we're going to take the same road back to the tonic. At this point, I was literally thinking to myself, I haven't used any diminished chords yet, so I'm going to change that. And it's a good thing I did, because diminished chords are dope. We got the melody. We have my brain trying to process how to do this. I'm pretty sure I was thinking G sharp, B, D, F, or D sharp, F sharp, A, C. I mean, there's only 3 kinds of diminished chords, so it shouldn't have been that hard. That's okay, though. All right, that might be a direct octave between the bass and the soprano, but I wouldn't be the one to know. All right, got me crafting some diminished chords. The nice thing about the diminished 7th chord is that you don't really have to decide what to double because it has 4 notes. Another cool thing about diminished chords, if you didn't know, they are symmetrical, so they're just made out of minor thirds. So if you just keep stacking minor thirds, you'll just get different octaves of the same 4 notes. Yeah. And the same thing kind of applies if you stack major thirds on top of each other. You'll just have 3 notes and you'll have an augmented triad, which I wish I would have used in this. Stay tuned to this channel for me breaking the rules. It was very hard for me to even try and follow the rules as well as I did, which was not very well. Looks like some kind of direct fifths there in beat 2 of the measure we're currently in. There's another telltale F sharp. So that's kind of an indication that we're not really at home base of C major anymore. Really, it should be chorale in C major, G major, D major, E minor, but that would be a lot of work. It begins and ends in C, so that's what we'll call it. So here I used the beginning melody as kind of a source to bring us back home. We're sort of getting home after the field trip. So my thinking was, okay, I'll take this beginning melody and reharmonize it. So let's see how I do that. Alright, so right away, instead of the second beat being an F major chord, I have it as an A minor chord. Those two are mediantly related, if that's not a word it is now. It's meaning the roots are third apart or something, and so they have two common tones, which is C and A. Never mind, that is another F major chord just in first inversion. Alright, we have an actual suspension in the bass at the beginning of measure 14, and that's going to make it a 2-3 or 3-2 or 4-3. I know it the number goes up because the interval's increasing, but I don't remember. We'll just call it some neat stepwise bass motion thing. I had this end C chord in first inversion initially, but it just wasn't quite satisfying enough. I needed it to be in root position, kind of set the stage, get some sour cream in there so we can put some cheese and salsa on it. Right now I was thinking it'll be really funny if I make all the last notes in the bass a C. But I didn't have the guts to keep it that way. There's my signature technique of making the chord in all four voices of the first beat to make that template. This is where I was thinking to myself, okay, how do I do that dominant chord with the substituted sixth and still make it early to mid common practice acceptable? And I found out you can't. But then I sort of did it anyways. I just couldn't do it in direct third and fourth motion or in direct first inversion chord motion. Whatever. I'm looking at the score and that A flat's not going to be there for long. That would be cool in kind of a jazz context to make into maybe like a minor ninth, kind of like a passing thing. But I decided to make it a diminished chord instead. Looks like that's a D sharp technically, just because of the way it's voiced. If we were to snowman stack it, it would be a D sharp diminished chord and second inversion or something. Not that it really matters. A diminished chord is a diminished chord. So this ending kind of, I was going for the part of Debussy's Reverie that's in E major. He goes do 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 do, and I just listened to that a million times on repeat. So There we go. Now stay tuned for a recording of this chorale created by me, played on the recorder. Hey, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe this video, and if you'd like to go the extra mile and leave comments for music-related videos you want, or just comments about the video, I would really appreciate that. Finally, a big thank you to my brother, who helped me set this up and helped me refine the process for making this video. Go ahead and check out his channel. It's called Phrygian Pharaoh, and he does covers of a lot of really good songs, and it sounds great, so definitely check it out. Also, a big thank you to my girlfriend. She helped me with the graphic aspect of this video, and also with helping me not losing my mind. Go ahead and check out her channel too. It's called Emily's World, where she reads devotionals, and it's very nice.